Hey, what's up, everyone? I got a lot to say in this video. I kind of have a script that I wrote out, so just bear with me. So yesterday I uploaded a video about why I was gonna delete a few of my old songs, and so pretty much, the Sick EP as well as some of the singles. So the video is about why I was gonna delete those and re-upload them through my current distributor, as well as some updates on my next single. And it's something I've been putting off for a while. I just deleted that video, and I think I deleted it today or yesterday. And this is the new version of that video because upon further research, I decided to switch distributors completely. The Sick EP and a few singles had extra features from my distributor attached to the releases where I had to pay extra fees um, every year, in addition to just the yearly fee of having my account and having some of my songs up on their through their distribution platform. And there's currently no way to take off those extra features. Hopefully, in the future, for the sake of others, they'll fix that and they'll give people the chance to remove those features so they don't have to keep paying yearly additional fees that they don't want to. But in addition to those yearly fees on those releases, excuse me, I have to pay, like I said, I have to pay my distributor a yearly renewal fee just for having an account and keeping some of my music on there. So I decided that I'll delete everything and start over with the free plan from a different distributor. The plan's going to be free. They just take a relatively small percentage of my sales that I get from streams and like iTunes download sales and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm gonna switch to a new distributor here in the future, and I can always update to the paid plan if I choose to. Um, Another big change is that my hyperfollow link will probably no longer be available. So I apologize for the inconvenience in advance that some of my past music-related videos have that across the screen. It'll be replaced with a new master link for all my streaming platforms and socials. Hopefully, I won't have to switch distributors again in the future once I do this, but we'll see. So anyway, in the near future here, I'll be deleting all my songs, including the Sick EP, off of streaming platforms via my current distributor and re-uploading them through a new one. So again, to sum it all up, originally the video I had up was like, hey, I'm going to delete a few of my songs and re-upload them. This video is saying I'm going to delete everything and re-upload it, but this time through a different distributor because I was going to do it through my current one and just not opt in for those additional um, features that charge me an extra amount every year because like I'm not really making any profit here. Let's see here. If you have any of my music saved to your song listening catalog or to your favorite playlists, if you feel like it and have the time and energy, please re-add them upon the re-release once I re-release it if you still want to listen to them conveniently. If not, it's cool. This is regarding Spotify, Apple Music, and even YouTube. Like I'll probably still keep up my YouTube videos that I directly uploaded, but the auto-generated track videos, those are gonna probably be gone and replaced with new ones through my new distributor. Um, so yeah, so re-add those to your playlists if you'd like once the new versions come out. Um, I'll also have to update my YouTube playlist for those audio track visualizers as well when they get deleted and the new ones come out. Um, Hopefully, assuming my new future distributor will upload those for me too. I feel like it's nice to have and it feels really official. And I'm pretty sure they do upload to YouTube directly as well. Honestly, I don't even use Spotify or Apple Music for listening. I try to make more money than I pay, and I just hate paying for shit. I feel horrible saying that. Um, but I do listen to a lot of music on YouTube, and in the past, I've bought downloads through iTunes and bought merch and CDs from bands and things like that. Um, so far for my music catalog as a whole, I've made zero profit off streaming or iTunes or any of that. I've made tiny amount of money, and that's including merch sales when I was selling merch. So it cost me more money to keep my shit up with the features and, having my distribution account at all. I've lost more money than I've made. Um, Speaking of that, if you haven't already noticed, I took down the AshtonRecords.com website again because I was losing money off my web hosting service, but I might get it back up and running eventually. There's a good chance it'll just be through Etsy or another shop platform. That way I don't have to pay for hosting a website and I can just sell my merch and stuff. Obviously, I'm pretty sure there's still, there might be like yearly Etsy fees, or maybe they just take a percentage. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. But yeah, Etsy is not really your own website. But who knows? Maybe I'll use another web hosting service to have my own website up again. Who knows? Same with Augustus Avant, my clothing line. I was losing money off my web hosting service, but I might get it back up and running eventually. Also, probably through Etsy or some other shop means. Matter of fact, let me do some quick research here. Actually, I don't know how Etsy works. Maybe there is an option where you don't have to pay a yearly fee. Maybe they'll just charge me, per listing and per transaction, like it says here. But yeah, there's a lot that I don't know. I'm still doing my homework on this. When I re-release my old stuff, I will use my previous release date if I can, so that hopefully for a lot of stores, hopefully at least Spotify and Apple Music, it'll show the original date it was released. Same with those YouTube auto-generated track videos. Not the actual date that I'm uploading through this new, future distributor. I don't want anyone thinking that I've been writing and making all this stuff just now, because like I said, I'm re-uploading my old stuff. I want people to know that it was originally released in the past. After I delete and re-upload all my music that I mentioned, there's going to be a new song called Alcoholism. It draws a contrast between the party songs that I had on the Sick EP and the hell that came after those fun times, which were described in those songs. Songs like Adrenaline and Alcohol, songs like, Sick, on the Sick EP, like I said. So the song, it draws a stark contrast and talks about the actual hell I've went through, and even getting help and stuff and getting sober off alcohol. So Alcoholism, it's a metal song, but in the outro there's some spoken word that I recorded, and some pads and some straight up electronic sounding drums, and there it talks about how I was mostly in denial writing those lyrics on the Sick EP. Also mentions how I wrote the intro lyrics to the song Sick once I was already sober of alcohol and saw my past denial. So when I say, in the beginning of Sick, when I say, chasing this rush, this addiction, couldn't tell that I was hooked, chasing this rush, this addiction, I was hooked right from the start. I'm pretty sure I wrote that once I was already sober off drinking. Regarding those lyrics, I literally feel like after getting drunk once or twice, the alcoholism started right there. The addiction started right there. It is a disease. But anyways, let's see here. Okay, so like I said earlier, the song Alcoholism, it talks about how I was, mostly in denial writing those lyrics on the EP. Most of it was written during my drinking days. So, about 95% of it or so I wrote while I was still drinking. And the rest, the remaining 5% or so, if anything, maybe I just touched up those lyrics to make it sound better, or filled in some gaps writing more lyrics. But to be more detailed, and I totally forgot about this when I made the song Alcoholism, which has not been released yet. Technically, I think a lot of the lyrics may have been written when I was forced to take a break from drinking because I couldn't get my hands on it anymore for a good while, but constantly hoping and looking forward to getting back to it. So I didn't have that mindset shift yet. I think most of the lyrics are written before this current alcohol-free streak I'm on now. like I mentioned earlier, you know, probably 95% or so. So in a way, you know, even when I took that break from drinking and wrote a lot of it, in a way, I was still in my drinking days for those lyrics written during that break too. So it's complicated. Because like I said, I hadn't had that mindset shift yet, and I was still in the mindset of like, okay, right now I'm not able to get my hands on anymore, but I still want to drink. I still want to drink. So some of the lyrics may have been written during that time too. Like I said, I totally forgot about that when I recorded Alcoholism. But when I recorded the final vocals for the Sick EP that you hear on that record, I was already sober. It felt weird, but I wanted to finish what I started, and they were stories of how I lived and experiences I had while mostly living in denial. As of this video here, I haven't drank in over 7.5 years. I just want to quote the outro spoken word lyrics of Alcoholism to give you some context as far as what I'm talking about, as far as the contrast with this new song coming up and re-releasing the Sick EP and all that stuff. So the outro says, here's the outro, the spoken word. As of now, I haven't drank in years, but this is how shitty it can be. I got outside help, and through that, even divine intervention. If you're looking for a sign to get some help, this might be it. I wrote most of the Sick EP during my drinking days. Admittedly, I recorded the vocals and released it when I was already sober. I felt weird about it, but the songs were stories of how I lived and experiences I had while mostly living in denial. This song is the darker side of that lifestyle. After I wrote about those fun times came the bleeding and the dark thoughts. I think I wrote the intro of Sick way later once I was sober and saw my past denial. So long story short, everyone, this video is to give you a heads up and ask you not to freak out when this happens, but all the music I have out now is going to be deleted and then re-uploaded. And I hope you have the time to re-add that music to your playlist if you lose all that stuff. So if you want to re-add that EP and those singles to your track list, or your favorite playlists with your favorite songs, if you want to do that, I appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, if you do want to do that, I appreciate that as well. So if you haven't added the songs yet, if you want to add them once they get released, I'll appreciate that too. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and have a blessed day. I appreciate your time. Sorry I was reading off the screen the whole time, but I wanted to make sure I got all my information straight. So yeah, that's what's going on. Thank you again, and peace out.